Yeah. No, sure.
So, from your perspective,
Greg, Sherwood MW.
where you work.
So, my name is Greg Sherwood, Master of Wine. I am the senior wine buyer at Handford Wines, based in South Kensington. So we obviously are very strong in categories like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Italy, Spain, South Africa, and a lot of the categories we do try and ship directly. Certainly most of our Bordeaux is shipped direct, most of our Burgundy is shipped direct, a lot of Italian is shipped direct, but of course we do focus on the kind of premium end of the trade. So a lot of these things are allocated, and you then obviously have to work through UK distributors or agents to get your allocation. But thankfully we've got great relationships, we've got a very strong retail presence, so we buy across categories and we get very, very good allocations. It's much more difficult for a straight broker or a kind of non-physical bricks and mortar merchant, because they basically want all the cherries, but not everything else. But we buy across categories, so we get really, really good allocations. So we're kind of a small group of premium retail that can do a great offering, but also some really, really great fine wine at good prices. My philosophy over the last 20 years as a buyer, which I've been all 20 years at Handford, has been not to say no to anyone if possible. Keep an open mind. You never know when that next great thing's going to kind of tap you on the shoulder. Sometimes things come along and they just seem too good to be true, and sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And then next thing you know, you've got a wine that you're shipping a pallet of every month or two, and it's one of your best sellers. So often you look back in hindsight of how you found those wines, and often they were there. If you are pedantic and say no and kick them out, you just couldn't be missing something. But I try and be fair and give everyone time, and obviously otherwise I do a lot of tasting across categories, a lot of portfolio tastings, a lot of generic tastings, a lot of wine competitions, UK and internationally, and between all that we stay well ahead of the game, thankfully, and have a great selection. Wow, it's such a congested market. There's not many holes, there's not many gaps. I think with certainly the last year or two, with there's a real kind of pressure to try and find a bit more kind of good value wines and high quality wines, and for us that would be anything from £8 to £15 is value. I mean, that may be super premium for some other retailer categories, but certainly for us kind of that would be our kind of good value range. And finding high quality from small growers who have a story with real integrity is a real challenge. But I think we found some very, very interesting things. A lot of them coming still out of places like South Africa, France. If you dig and scratch hard enough, you can still find some interesting things. Just kind of developing their own brands. Things are moving fast, because the wine scene is changing fast and consumers are changing. So you need to certainly keep your finger on the pulse, and it'd be hard to say a specific category, but I'd still say kind of good value Cinsault from South Africa, good value Chenin Blanc is still super popular and growing, and you can get very, very high quality at quite affordable prices. Marketing for us is doing a lot of tastings, opening a lot of bottles, connecting with the consumer, pressing the flesh, chatting to our people, talking to them, what they're enjoying, what they're drinking. That's marketing to us, and how we do that is doing a lot of tastings, a lot of kind of bigger and smaller networking type events in our cellars and outside. And certainly from my side, you know, there is certainly a strong social media element which has grown over the last few years of my personal kind of, people know I work for Handford, I'm kind of part of the kind of furniture there, so kind of being active and being out and about in competitions like this, in other competitions, at a lot of tastings, seminars, masterclasses, just being out and about and kind of earning your kind of stripes, I think, and then communicating that to your consumer base, either individually or individually with Handford brand, I think has been very helpful. And then having integrity and, you know, people believing in what your selections are, why you buy things and why you sell things, and the hand sell, and never trying to let anyone down. And so if you've got a high hit rate, I think you really earn your you know, the integrity. And that's what it's all about these days.